On to the Goalies.
Oh, boy.
It's, oh, boy, it's been a ride. We got a couple good games out of Jack Campbell. He was rolling. Then we go into St. Louis. I mean, tough. Like, a few of those goals obviously are nowhere near his fault, but it was a personal shot in the groin to me when I saw Klim Kostin go in one-on-one versus Jack Campbell, and I've been praising Jack Campbell's 1v1 save percentage kind of thing, and Kostin buried it on him.
That's honestly, Joe, it sounds simple, but everything we've been preaching, like, again, I'm not just trying to pump our tires here. It all goes into the pie, into this nice piece of blueberry pie.
Yep.
It's all that we got pieces. Defending the front of the net to start the year has gone worse. Okay, now our save percentage is going down a bit. You're a goalie. As you start fighting the puck a bit, as your save percentage is going from 930 to 928 to 927 to 926, it's like, man, is he going to stop every outside shot now? And unfortunately, we're getting to the point now. It's hard to read goalies. Again, we've talked about it. Jack Campbell's never started more than 30 games prior to this year. It's a mental warfare to start 55, 60 games for a goalie. It's hard to do. We've seen it. Bobrovsky goes from a Vezina Trophy winner. They give him $10 million, and suddenly they want him in the minors, right? It's tough to be a consistent goalie year to year. It's tough to expect 930 save percentage all year. I agree. Mm-hmm. But there's no doubt in my mind Jack Campbell's fighting it a bit right now. I can see it in his eyes. After the second goal, wrote in our little group
terrible.
chat, I said the mentals right now for Campbell are just not, I could just tell. They're just not there.
No.
And 2 goals on 2 shots in the first 8 minutes of the third period, like, those are deflating goals. Luckily, we came back. But, again, Patrick Laine has one of the best shots in the world. But you said it before the podcast. Teams play to give up that shot in overtime. Mm-hmm. If you give up a shot at the top of the circle in overtime, you're happy. Because you could probably either he'll miss and maybe you can swing it back around the net, get an on-man rush the other way, or the goalie can just hold it and play the puck to your defenseman. He scored from the top of the circle in overtime. Teams don't even take that shot. We see teams take the puck back out of the zone from the top of the circle in overtime. So I hate bagging on the goalies, but Mrazek was atrocious against Montreal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Atrocious.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You paid him $3.5 million.
Funny because he made a couple really good saves, and then, like, that Caulfield goal can't go
That
in.
was terrible. I'm sorry. Like, the way he slid across the net, you got to...
That Hoffman goal was horrible, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
There was at least three goals in that game that should not have gone in the net on an NHL goalie. I don't know if that's being.
It was funny on that goal, the third goal. Hoffman gets the puck. He's coming in. It's a bit of a defensive breakdown, and Liljegren's playing it, and he gives Hoffman a little bit of room, but he's instructing, hey, make sure you can see him point. He goes, hey, make sure that pass is taken care of, and he's got a good distance to Hoffman. Hoffman takes a shot from the circles. Hoffman's got a good shot. It was just a wrist shot, and it went through Mrazek. I was like, that's a really shitty, tough one to give up there. Like that's deflating.
Yeah, it's tough.
2-0, you can fight back, sure. 3-0 after a goal like that, it's like, oh my God, here we go. We're in for it tonight.
Like you said, you started off with it. It's when the Jack Campbell's automatic on the first shot to. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's letting in like 1 or 2 a night on the first shot. And they were showing
his rebound control stats. According to Money Puck, he's very good on the rebound control, which we've seen a lot of as well. Mm-hmm. But a couple of those first shots, he screened on that. It's like, okay, you have to find a way around the screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I just want to run through on some more numbers because I got some more numbers for the goalies too. So. Again, we're going to go with the last 16 games just because it's neat and tidy. So first and foremost, something that's not good is Jack Campbell save percentage is .868 in that 16-game stretch where he played 10 games. One of them he got pulled. So Peter Mrazek had 7 games because he came into relief for Jack Campbell. His save percentage is .883. That's simply not good enough. But again, the goalies, they won us a couple games earlier in the season. I think our team can do a little bit more to help them out, but at the same time, this is a bad stretch for them, and it's almost a bad stretch for the entire team.
Yeah.
Another number I want to look at is goals against average. We're giving up on average 3.5 goals a game over that stretch. So that, again, team level issues, not just goalies. I'm not trying to bring up these stats to specifically bag on the goalies, but it's a team level issue. And Jack Campbell simply, like we said, since January, he hasn't been what we saw earlier in the season. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know the mentality of being a goalie. I've never played goalie. Like, how would that affect you being on the shelf for a month and a half, kind of not doing anything? I feel like that would affect you greatly. Has to. And I feel like that's part of the reason as to maybe why he's not doing so well. But there is one stat that I want to bring up that was glaring.
So
because,
in terms of, I just wanted to get
sorry.
In terms of on the shelf, it really depends what kind of state you're in. It's so fluid in terms of depending on what's going on. Like, if you're having a tough stretch, okay, yeah, that break really helps you out to reset, whatever. Jack Campbell was rolling. He was on a hot streak there. And then you run into 2 games a week and then an all-star weekend.
Yeah,
some more breaks, and then it's like, oh, God. Like, that's tough.
Yeah. And we were like not
and
just...
now he's into every other game. So it's like maybe, okay, like Jack is going to be our guy in the playoffs. Give him 3 in a row. And then try to fit Mrazek in there, here and there.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, saying that he had a good start is kind of an understatement because not just Leafs fans, but almost everyone in the hockey community was throwing him out as a Vezina contender.
He's an all-star.
He was an all-star, exactly. Yeah, he was an all-star. Like, he was having a fantastic season. But
and the other issue is, like, we talked about this a ton in the offseason. Are they gonna go 1A, 1B, or are they gonna go starter backup? You paid Mrazek 3.7 or whatever it was. I don't know the exact number. He's got to be better too. And these are also opportunities for Mrazek. I'm sorry. I don't think it's guaranteed 100% that Jack Campbell starts. You see Campbell's getting worse. If I'm Mrazek, like, you got a chance to get a bigger share of this net, and he's absolutely fallen on his face. It's really unfortunate. When you give a guy that kind of money to give me,
decent.
Not quite Michael Hutchinson, but,
Way better.
I know, but like average, he's giving you average league backup right now. He's got an 890 save percentage through 10. That's Michael Hutchinson.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I know he's been injured, but again, what you're paying him, Tavares has been bad too, but per dollar, he's been our worst player this year other than Nick Ritchie probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I know it's harsh, but we've had a lot of players play well.
Yeah.
And again, it's not all his fault, but when you add the goaltending's gotten worse, we're giving up more chances in front. We're struggling to break the puck out. The second and third line aren't contributing anything offensively the last 16 games. So right now what you've got is you've got one line scoring. You've got a somehow defensive-minded center who's chipping in points. You got Engvall, the goal scorer. You got Riley Brody playing well, Sandin jumping in on the rush, and that's it. Those are your positives the last 16 games. And William Nylander can still shoot the puck. So, again, the goaltending needs to be better. And it's not, it's hard to say you need to be better on rebounds that end up in front and we don't clear the puck. Or you need to be better on Justin Holl turning the puck over and we have 2 cycle chances against immediately after that. But like you said, when the shots that are unscreened and right in your face start going in, that's an issue.
Yeah. In terms of the Leafs' actual goals against minus expected goals against, so that would be essentially like a minus in this situation would be good. You're letting in less goals than what you would actually expect the goalie to give up based on the number of chances based on the number of chances against. Since January 1st, the Leafs are second last in that metric.
Oh, jeez.
Last is New Jersey, who has been playing guys at the likes of Shved.
They've used 6 goalies, 50 games in.
And John Gillies, who they brought in off the streets, and the Leafs beat their brains in for 13 goals or whatever. This is at 5-on-5.
Them or Seattle, worst goaltending numbers this year, I believe.
Seattle's been a lot better than us since January 1st.
Yes, and I have like a number that Evolving Wild tweeted out earlier in the night. And this is again going back to what we were talking about in Jack Campbell in the 16 games, right? So in his last 10 starts, which takes place over those 16 games, Jack Campbell has averaged a minus 0.28 goals saved above expected. So that's essentially a minus 10 point whatever minus 11 goals saved above expected over those 10 starts. That is the this season, there's only 2 goalies who have had a lower 10-game stretch than that. That is Grubauer, who is legitimately in that stat been the worst goalie in the league by a country mile, and Caden Primo, who hasn't even played consecutive games, just been here or there, and he's just not a strong goaltender. So that is,
he's young,
struggling.
but
You get outplayed back-to-back nights by Samuel Montembeault, and I don't even want to mess this guy's name up. JP Berube? JF Berube.
JF, yes.
When
Who
you're
got
giving your
picked.
goalies, your backup's making 3.5, and you're looking to give Campbell, we were talking $6 million. Like, that's serious money.
6 by 6.
That can't happen, right? So, and again, we're just analyzing the last little stretch. But the goaltending hasn't been good enough.
Sam Montembeault, who I've probably have said in the past, he's one of the worst goalies in the league. I don't know. Montreal saw something in him clearly, and they were willing to go through the growing pains. So he's slowly getting better and better, I think. But he's still not someone that should be shutting you down.
No.
And then JF Berube, this guy hadn't played in the NHL since 2018. Should tell you a little bit about what your competition is there. And as you said, 5 goals, 4 total over 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
And
So,
who
yeah.
else? What other team but the Leafs, huh?
Yeah.
It happens, though. Again, we got a ton of hockey left, and
Yes.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job outlining
Yes.
the areas to improve.
Honestly,
right?
if the Leafs match up against Tampa Bay in the playoffs, Tampa Bay's best bet is to go out on the streets and get Curtis McElhinney to come back and play against them. And tell Curtis, don't play for a full month before you get here, because the frickin' Toronto Maple Leafs, I guarantee, will bury the puck so hard into your chest, you'll be bruised for a month.
Oh, man.
Isn't that a GM strategy?
I just honestly
right there?
I love the Leafs. I pick them in every series. They always lose. I would if I was a betting man, they're not like Tampa Bay. I would pick Tampa Bay to beat the Leafs. That
Right
team
now,
is a juggernaut. They can play any style. Like really don't want to play them. If they have to, they have to. But yeah, so I think that's the moratorium on the Leafs the last 16 games.
What's the major thing? If you were to say, if the Leafs change this, they beat Tampa, what's the major pressing issue for the Leafs?
Jack Campbell needs to at least match Andrei Vasilevsky play minimum, because Vasilevsky, as I've said, is going to go down as one of the best goalies ever.
And he doesn't even he catches with his dominant hand.
So
when you think about that, you do not throw with your right hand and catch with your right hand if you are right-handed.
I didn't know that.
He is left-handed. He catches with his left hand. This is from Kevin Woodley, because when he was in Russia, his dad was a pro goalie too. He didn't have access to a right-catching glove. He
just
learned, yeah.
He just learned.
Wow.
You know how they say, like, you build a guy in the lab? That's him. He's literally built in a lab.
Yeah.
6'3", 225, flexible, long arms, long legs.
There's
Massive
no way
chest
he's
protection.
6'3".
He is.
He looks like he's
He has
6'10"
extremely
on
long
6'4",
limbs. You
yeah.
could see his legs and his freaking arms are
And they
massive. But
bend.
there's one stat that Jason just asked me to look up, and I'm glad he did, because this is a big one that I think the forwards. Remember the start of the year, first 7 or 8 games? What did we say the forwards were doing too much of?
Cheating up ice, right?
No.
Too much of?
In terms of generating offense, like,
At the beginning of the year,
is it almost like a systems change? It felt like Sheldon Keefe was emphasizing doing something more than what they used to.
being
dump and
low.
chase.
Dump and chase. So Jason asked me to look up the rush chances for the Leafs full season versus the last 16 game sample we've been talking about. Full season, they're 9th in rush chances, which makes sense. They're usually in the top.
Against, right?
Oh, you wanted against?
Yeah.
I did 4, and
Oh, okay.
it's interesting.
Okay, sorry.
So this is rush chances 4. We know they've been dumping the puck in a lot, but we also know their big boys like to rush the puck in and score. I think this is a great example of probably the second line making a difference. Full season, 9th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last 16 games, 20th in the league in rush chances 4 per game, behind the Ottawa Senators.
Ah.
You got us there, Dave.
Yep. That was the other thing. In that stat I mentioned earlier, actual goals minus expected, Ottawa is 3rd behind Colorado and the New York Rangers.
That's definitely a problem. Like we got to be creating more off the rush.
Maybe that's an identifier.
Or
start betting Ottawa.
Well, I think our second line specifically,
Yeah.
right? Like, but that's we've talked about it. Tavares' foot speed is like a tick slower right now, and it's changing things. The exits, the entries, they're different. So
That's true.
Interesting.
That's a good stat. Damn it.
Yeah, I like that. And I